Topic we are going to look at is known as PERT technique. The word PERT is an acronym meaning planning, evaluation, and review technique. Then the question is, what is the origin of PERT, which is called planning, evaluation, and review technique? PERT is what the Americans, is a technique the Americans discovered or propounded to face the challenges posed by Russia exploration. They want to use it. The Americans, it originated from USA, and they are using it. They are using this PERT to challenge to address the challenges posed by Russia in air exploration. The Russians were the first to manufacture aeroplane. They were the first to manufacture aeroplane. When they did, they were using it to rove about the whole world, and including American airspace. And when the Americans saw it, they saw it as a wonder. What is this one? So they started studying the mechanic of how they can manufacture their own. But unfortunately, they tried the first time, they failed. They didn't succeed. They tried another time, second time, they failed. So they tried the third time, they failed. They could not get the root of technology that can make them to also fly in the air. So the next thing they decided to do was they decided to steal that technology. So one day, Russia aeroplane was hovering American airspace, and the Americans forcefully brought down the aeroplane. When they forcefully brought down the aeroplane, they pushed the aeroplane to the last spin, and after doing that, they now assign time to each of the activities that will lead to the production of aeroplane. They assign time to each of the activities that will make them produce the aeroplane, and they call that technique PERT technique, or PERT. They call it PERT. That is planning, evaluation, and review technique. That's what they call it, and that was the origin of PERT. So, after they dismantled the aeroplane and to the last one and whatever, and they saw the component, they now designed a formula. They designed a formula which they put as ET is equal to ET is equal to OT. I will explain each of the components of the formula later. PT all over, this is 4 LT all over 6. Now, the essence of this formula is to assign time to all the activities. You can see the formula, you see that all of them have the word T, and that T stands for time. The time could be in days, or could be in hours or week or whatever. So, or month, depending on the how big the project is. So any project one is doing and you want to be able to determine the time to complete that project, you apply PERT. You apply PERT as the technique for doing that. So, and so the purpose of this formula is to assign time to all the activities and to be able to determine the longest time duration that the activity is likely to be completed. So, if you look at the formula, ET is the first variable there, and the ET implies the expected time or the weighted average of all other time. The expected time, the ET is expected time the project is expected to be completed, or the aggregate of the 3 other times divided by 6 to give the expected time. So when you talk of the average, let's say you add all the other time together, divided by 6, but the LT must be multiplied, it's a product of, or it must be multiplied by 4. So the OT is the optimistic time that is required if perfect condition will prevail. Optimistic time. No, there is English word optimistic, and there's another one pessimistic. Pessimistic is the opposite of optimistic. When you say optimistic, that is, you are the whole time you are sure that this project is likely to end, but it may not end, because you are just giving yourself a challenge, or maybe you're just giving yourself a kind of feeling that if you put everything in place, you're expecting this thing to end this way. We call it optimistic time, but it is always not the, it doesn't justify the expected time. In most cases, the optimistic time will not be the real optimistic time. In using PT, you need to be conservative about it. You need to be conservative, and that's why you are more of being a pessimist than an optimist. Because, for instance, once you think this project will end at a particular time, if it doesn't end, then as a contractor or somebody handling the project, it will be you that will now be accountable for the reason why that is not possible. Then the LT is the likely time for the or period for an event to occur. The likely time or period most that for an event, the likely time or the period most likely for an event to occur or for an activity to be completed. So likely time, and the likely time is not a specific time. We are just guessing it. So then the PT, which is the last time there, is the pessimistic time. That's the opposite of optimistic. The first one was optimistic. Then the second one, which is pessimistic time, is the average, which is the pessimistic time, is the one that assumes most unlikely condition will prevail for the project to be completed. So it's the opposite. It's the most unlikely that was, it's not likely that this thing will take place. But the other one is saying, the likely time it will take place. So the two, we have to be put together, because we have to balance it in order to get the average. So, okay, thank you, man. So we've seen the formula, we've seen the meaning, we've seen, I have explained what each of the components or variables of the formula is talking about. Let's now look at an example of how we can apply the formula. But before we do that, I want just to know that each of the variables, each of the time indicated on the formula can be demanded as the time we are looking for. From the formula itself, the expected time is what is given as the function of the other time. But we can still make the other time, we can still make each of the other time subject of the formula. So maybe we can do that one first. If you want, assuming I want to make OT the subject of the formula, what we need to do is to say you cross multiply. This one is also over 1. You cross multiply to say 6 times ET. We give 6 ET. Then we have OT plus 4 LT plus PET. So this one is this. So to isolate OT, we transfer 4 LT and PT outside this something away from OT. So OT will stand on its own. You bring this one to this side. When you bring something from the side of equality into another side, the sign changes. If it's plus, it will change to minus. If it's minus, it will change to plus. So this one will not. Once you transfer 4 LT and PT to this one, 6 ET minus 4 LT minus PT is equal to OT. So that is, you have made OT the subject of formula. We can write it to mean 6 ET minus 4 LT minus PT. So we have isolated OT and made OT the subject of the formula. So I want to make LT and PT the subject of the formula again. Before we now look at examples. So from the formula ET is equal to OT plus 4 LT plus PT all over 6. We want to make LT the subject. Okay. Thank you. The subject of the formula now. So you cross multiply as usual. You have 6 ET is equal to OT plus 4 LT plus PT. We have used this one to multiply this to have this. So we transfer, you isolate LT now. Sorry, this is 4 LT. We want to isolate LT now. First of all, isolate 4 LT. So you have 6 ET minus OT minus PT is equal to 4 LT. And when you divide both sides by 4 to eliminate this 4 here, then this 4 will cancel this. Then you have 6 ET minus OT minus PT all over 4 gives LT. So you have made LT the subject of the formula now. So the last one is we want to make PT the subject of the formula. So I can do that one here. From the formula, you cross multiply as usual. 6 ET OT plus 4 LT plus PT. Okay, so we will now want to isolate PT. We transfer other things to the side of ET. Then 6 ET minus OT minus 4 LT is equal to PT. So we have made PT the subject of formula. So we want to work an example now. Example. Okay. From the lecture note that we already downloaded or that we already have, which you can find, even see from your reading material, you can find this one on page. What's the page? Where you have the PERT Techniques. My own page is different. But it's the same thing for lecture 1 that we have uploaded that you can easily download. It's an example, and I want to read the example now. I want to read the example. As for the year given there, we may change it. We may change it to make current year. So I am going to change the year to reflect current year now. So I am not going to use the year that is there. So as I'm reading it, where the year changes, then you can change it in your own. Even if you leave it, it doesn't make any difference. So let me read now example. In a decision to publish a journal called the Spark in, let's say, December 2020 instead of 2014, 2020. The following year was agreed upon. The following year will be 2021, which is this year. The following year was agreed upon for the first edition to be out in September 2021. To ensure that this is carried out, all activities necessary for it to occur are listed and time assigned to each activity as follows. And we go to the next page where the time assigned have been indicated. So we have serial number 1 to 9. We have activity representing the serial number, and you have time in weeks representing optimistic time, likely time, pessimistic time, and expected time. No, expected. The expected time are not. The expected time are not supposed to be indicated. So because that's what we want to find now. We want to find the expected time. So we just put it there so that students can cross-check after working this something out whether it's correct or not, because they are all copied from the workout. So all figures are correct, and the questions are determine the expected time for all the levels of activities. Expected time, and by what we have been saying, the expected time is the ET. So the expected time is the ET. So we are going to use other time, OT, LT, and PT as given in numbers to determine the expected time for all the activities. Okay, so we start. So, for the first activity is conduct opinion poll. Conduct opinion poll. Conduct opinion poll. And for the opinion poll, we have been told OT is half, maybe half month. LT is maybe 1 month, and PT is 1.5 months. So what we need to do is that all this, where we have OT, we put the figure to be able to determine the expected time to complete the project or to conduct opinion poll. So ET for conducting opinion poll is OT is half plus LT is 1. 4 multiplied by 1 plus PT is 1.5. 1.5. Everything over 6. This is part of the formula. So you are going to have half plus 4 plus 1.5 all over 6, and this one will give you 6 over 6, and this one will give you 1. So expected time to conduct opinion poll is 1 month. If this is a month, yours can be in week, yours can be in year, so whatever. So if you are saying all our time are in month, then the expected time to conduct opinion poll is 1 month. After getting the average of the other time. So we'll go to the second one now. The second one is a acquire administrative approval. Acquire administrative approval. If it's a journal being to be owned by a department, you may need administrative approval of the Vice Chancellor, and it may take time. Maybe you have to write a letter to acquire administrative approval. So, as usual, our ET is OT plus 4LT plus PT all over 6. From the table, OT is 1 plus LT is 2, 4 times 2. PT is 3. Everything divided by 6. And this one will give 1 plus 4 times 2, 8 plus 3 all over 6. This one will give you 12 all over 6. And this one will give you 2. So the time required to acquire administrative approval is 2 months. So that's that with acquire administrative approval. The next one is recruit staff. I want to recruit staff now. What time will it take to recruit staff? If you know the other time, what will be the expected time to require to recruit staff? Recruit staff. Our expected time is OT plus 4 LT plus PT over 6. To recruit staff, our OT is 4 months, plus our LT is 8 months, 4 times 8, and our PT is 12 months all over 6. And this one will give 4 plus 4 times
32.
8.
32.
4 times 8.
32.
That's 32 plus 12.
6.
Now I'll give you this is 36, this is 48, sorry. This one divided by 6, and this one will give you 48 divided by 6, and this one will give
8.
6 months.
8. It's 8, sir.
Is it 6?
8 months.
Okay, it's 8.
8 months.
6 and 6 will be
48.
8. It's
Yes,
8. Sorry. So, the next one is that we train personnel. To train personnel, we want to train personnel. We have, as usual, it is OT plus 4 LT plus PT. I'm trying to write the formula every time so that people will not say how did they get whatever. Our OT from the figure under trained personnel is 2. This is 2. Our LT is 3, 4 times 3. Our PT is 4. Everything divided by 6. And this one will give 2 plus 12 plus 4 all over 6. And this one will give you 18 all over 6, I think I'm right?
That's 3.
Okay, and this one will give
3.
So that will be 3 months to train personnel. 3 months to train personnel. Cover. The next activity now is solicit advertisement and contributions. Solicit advertisement and contributions. Solicit advert and contribution. So each is, for that we have our OT 4 plus 4 multiplied by 6. The LT is 6 and the PT is 14. All over 6. And this one will give 4 plus 4 and 6 is 24 plus 14 all over 6. This one will give 42 divided by 6. And this one will give you 7. So the expected time to solicit advertisement is 7 months. Then the next activity now, we assemble students' articles to be published. Assemble students' articles to be published. So our OT is to assemble students' articles. Our OT to do that is 2. Our LT is 6, 4 times 6, plus PT. Our PT is 10. Everything over 6. That's going to be 2 plus 24 plus 10 all over 6. That will give you 36 all over 6, and this one will give 6 months. The next one is we review articles. Review articles. Review articles. Review articles. ET for review articles, our OT is 1 plus our LT is 2 and our PT is 3 all over 6. And this one will give you 1 plus 4 times 2, 8 plus 3 all over 6. This is 12 all over 6 and this is 2. So we have almost gotten to the end of so the next one is the next activity is to select manuscript to be published. Select manuscript to be published. So each will now be equal to our OT is half, our LT is 1, and our PT is 1.5 all over 6. This one gives you half plus 4 plus 1.5 all over 6, and this one will give 6 all over 6, which is equal to 1. So that's to review articles. okay, to select manuscript. So we have determined the expected time for the first eight activities now. So we have been able to answer question A, which says determine the expected time for all. Are we know that?
All the levels of activities.
Let's continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are supposed to determine the expected time for all the activities, for all the levels of activities which we have done as per one serial number activities 1 to 8. So the next question says state the time levels in weeks to the time for publication. Number 9 is talking about publication. So to select the time, to determine the time levels to weeks to the time for publication, there are 2 ways we can do it. The first way is look at all the expected time determined and add everything up. If you add everything up, you are going to have it up to 30. The second option is to work it out like we did for the other activity. So if you add all the time for OT, LT and PT, and you're able to determine it. So you can work out the expected time for publication. And that is what we want to do now. That's the second approach. So we can say, to work it out, say publication. You say ET is, if you look at the OT, the total time for OT is 15. You're going to have 15. The total time for LT is 29. 4 times 29 plus the total time for PT is 49. You put 49. Then you divide by 6. I don't know whether there is a calculator there, but if there is none, there. So you're not going to have 15. 4 times 29. Let me get 4 times 29.
4 times 29 is 116. 116.
You said?
116. 116.
Okay.
116.
116. Like this?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Plus 49. All over 6. I mean, add the
180.
180.
180.
Huh?
180.
180.
Yes, sir.
All over 6. And this one will give